So last week on your Zoom with Mrs. Schaefer, you talked about the words stack, roll, and slide. So in this video, we're going to talk a little bit more about those words, and we're also going to test your 4 three-dimensional shapes to see if they stack, to see if they roll, and to see if they can slide. The first word we're going to talk about is stack. When I think of stacking, I usually think of blocks and building towers, because when you're stacking something, you put one thing on the bottom and then something else on top and then something else on top of that one, and you keep going until the tower is super, super high. So stacking means you start at the bottom and you keep putting something else on top. And if it can stack, that means it won't fall down. Right now, I have a lot of books in my room. So an example of stacking would be putting one book on the ground, another book on top, and another book on top. And I can keep putting books right on top of each other. So that is an example of stacking. The second word we're going to talk about is the word roll. And if something is rolling, I usually see it spinning. So if a ball is rolling, it's usually spinning. If you see a wheel rolling, it is also spinning. So on the sides of a shape that can roll, it usually has to be curved. It has to be round so that it could roll and it can spin. So that's why I drew a baseball, because a lot of times in sports, you roll balls, like in bowling, you roll the ball to hit the pins. If you hit a baseball, it might roll across the grass. If you are playing kickball, somebody has to roll the kickball to you before you kick it. So a lot of times when I think of the word roll, I think of a ball, which is also called a sphere. Right now, Stella's sleeping, but when I play with Stella, I like to put her ball on the floor, and I either push it or I kick it, and it's spinning and going across the floor. So that is an example of rolling. The other word we're talking about today is the word slide. And for my picture, I drew an arrow with a little square, but it could be a cube. And the arrow is there because a lot of times when you want to slide something, you have to push it. So maybe if a family member at the dinner table is asking you to pass something, you might push a plate towards them and slide that plate over to them. So you're pushing something to make it move. By using my hand, I can slide a cup across the table. A cube can stack. A cube can slide. A cube cannot roll. A sphere cannot stack. A sphere can roll. A sphere cannot slide. It just rolls. A cylinder can stack. A cylinder can slide. A cylinder can roll. A cone cannot stack. A cone can slide. A cone can roll. A cylinder is the only shape that can do all three, so I like to call them super cylinders.